Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day. Today is the day 391, and we are continuing with our reflections inward through the sacred doorway of cooperation with the Guru, a theme that is settled yet central to the Sage Mark path. One of the most beautiful and mysterious aspects of the Guru's presence in our life is that his work is often invisible to the eye but unmistakable to the heart. We may not hear him, but we feel our restlessness put to ease. We may not see him, but we feel more anchored in our life. And we may not understand the direction, but somehow we begin to trust the path unfolding before us. True cooperation begins when we start valuing this invisible transformation and stop demanding outer signs of inner progress. As Dadi reminds us, the master works in silence, but still enough to let it echo within. Cooperation with the Guru also means shifting from expectation to receptivity. When we expect, we narrow the path, and when we receive, we open the heart. Expectation says, why is this not happening? And receptivity says, whatever is happening, I accept it as grace. Cooperation, therefore, means letting go of control and entering into an inner posture of readiness where every experience, pleasant or not so pleasant, is received as a part of the journey on our way home. The Guru brings grace, but grace requires space. And that space is created through the simplicity in lifestyle, the constancy in our practice, the softness in the attitude, and the trust in the master. We often wonder, am I progressing? But the more relevant question is, am I cooperating with master who's helping me progress? This is not a passive surrender. It is an active participation in our own becoming, where we work with the master, not apart from him. Dear sisters and brothers, if these sessions and master classes have touched you, please do consider gently sharing them with your family and friends. Sometimes a single introduction can open a doorway to inner peace and transformation for them. And let us now return to our reflective reading from the article A User's Guide to Living, Part 5 by beloved Taj. Yoga describes Ahankar as one of the subtle bodies, one of the functions of the mind, the identity that the soul as the self takes to navigate this earthly domain. It cannot be destroyed, nor should it be, as our very existence as individuals depend on it. In the spiritual journey, the ego is refined and purified, stage by stage. And its major refinement is associated with chakras 6 to 12 of the mind region, also defining the rings of ego. All this is laid out beautifully in Babuji's books, Reality at Dawn and Towards Infinity. As we refine the ego, our ever changing perspective is just like that of a mountaineer climbing up to the peak. In fact, until we reach a certain elevation in our spiritual journey, we are not able to let go and manifest the capacity for surrender that results in simplicity. That particular elevation is known as chakra 9 in our spiritual anatomy, associated with the region of Prapanna. We can even say that the stage is the real beginning of the process of simplification, which continues to refine as we progress further. Chakra 9, it is still nowhere near the ultimate state of simplicity. At Chakra 9, we start to really cooperate with the work of the guide, cultivating those behaviors and habits that support his work, his efforts to shatter the network. Such habits are outlined in the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, removing unwanted tendencies through yama, cultivating noble qualities through niyama, good posture through asana, balancing the energetic body through pranayama, regulating the senses through pratyahara, and simplifying thoughts to a single focus on the goal through dharana, regulating the mind from thought to feeling to becoming to being to non-being through dhyana, and arriving at the original state of samadhi. Another way of presenting the same aspects is through these 10 principles that originated in Babuji's 10 maxims. They contain the same content in a more modern context. Of course, Babuji also gave us practical solutions. So there are heartfulness practices and meditations for all these aspects, which are described in detail in the literature of heartfulness, weaving our destiny with purity and simplicity. The latent power that was present at the time of creation is present in us too, although generally it is trapped in the cocoon of our own creation. By rekindling it and using it in the right way, we can attain our goal. In Babuji's words, we can try to re-own the latent power that is a very quintessence of nature by breaking up the network interwoven by yourself, taking up as the ideal the simplicity of nature, which is before everybody's view. We may set to work for the attainment of the goal in a way that all senses have merged, may become synonymous with that which remains after the fading away of previous impressions. Spiritual practice is all about purification of the subtle bodies. As the necessary parallel in our character refinement is simplification, the removal of behavioral complexities. Patanjali says the same thing in his Yoga Sutras when he explains that our arrival at the stillness of the latent state is the result of two things: our practice, known as abhyas, and our ability to let go of our desires and wishes, the state known as Virakya. 1.12 Abhyasa Virakyabhyam Tat Virodha. The vrittis are stilled through spiritual practice and the letting go of all mental colorings. Dear sisters and brothers, let us take a pause here from the reading and let these words illuminate the inner chambers of your heart. And as it is the time for universal prayer, let us come together and offer the universal prayer now with lot of love in our hearts. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. May this universal prayer bring peace and love to. And as we prepare to close the day, let us offer the bedtime prayer and our reflections of the day. And let this question accompany you into silence. What can I let go tonight so that the Master's grace may flow more freely? Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session. And as we are in the final day of this theme, may our cooperation with the Guru become not just a practice, but a natural rhythm of the soul. We look forward to seeing you again in our next session to continue sacred exploration of a new theme together. Wishing you all a very peaceful night, and may your heart rest in the quiet assurance of the Master's love and leading. Good night and thank you.